you sum up the relationship between God and queerness in 5 minutes?
We don't know. And quite honestly, we are not going to be able to do that. Rather, we would like to offer a glimpse into moments in our journey of exploring just that. Hello, I'm Reggie, and I use he, him, his pronouns.
And I'm Emma, and I use she, her, her pronouns.
We both go to Regis University and are involved with the social justice scene at our institution. We both study peace and justice, but I've decided to go on the less practical side and study philosophy to expand my degree, while Emma has decided to pursue politics.
Our story of faith and queerness, two things that for us have wounds wrapped up together while still having the potential to heal us, has been a tenuous journey. And still, when I think about healing, I think of a process of becoming whole, both seeing myself as a whole person and being seen as whole by others. The message that we would like to share with you is a message of advocating for all of us to create a world that is better than our current one, and to do this through a whole love and genuine care for each other.
If we take a good, hard look at the gospel, the Jesus that we see is someone who extends love to people who are suffering and marginalized. People who would have normally been erased, silenced, invisible, or hated were people who Jesus spent the most time with. He would have loved the gays. If we truly want to live in Jesus' legacy, then we need to consider what the theme of this gathering offers us. To dream of a world where we can offer up a sense of love and compassion to people who we've once hated is a radical hope. And yet, it is a hope that Emma and I see ourselves working to make a reality.
This is a prophetic action. Love is not just a feeling, but it manifests in the ways that we see each other. We see each other's wholeness. This shows up in our experience not only as queer people, but as queer people of color. We need a whole love, one that requires truly engaging and building meaningful and intersectional community with others. This is what informed Regi and I to host IgnatianQ. IgnatianQ brings together students representing most of the 27 Jesuit universities in the United States, among others, for a series of events that explore the LGBTQIA+ identity within the context of Jesuit education. The theme for this year's conference is, At the Crossroads, staying the course for a love that is whole.
We think that we are at a crossroads of discernment within ourselves, within our church, and within our society. And we have decided that we have to decide what it means for us to be with and for others. Does it mean with and for others as long as they believe in what we believe? With and for others as long as they do what we would do? Our hope is that by hosting this conference at our university, we will allow both ourselves and people from other universities to explore what loving wholefully looks like.
It is dangerous to be queer, to be different in our society. Our people have been targeted in city streets, at universities, in nightclubs, and just about any of the limited spaces we have to find community. And yet, we are here in spite of all of this fear, praying and working towards a world with better systems and structures that offer care and equity to queer people. We are living in hope. We have been inspired to act. We are here because we believe that we must see each other in our wholeness, just as God would see us. There are so many queer people who have left the church, who have halted their relationship with God because of how they've been treated. A place that should be a site for community, encouragement, and deep love has been a site of pain and trauma.
A whole world love works against this, recognizes the humanity in others, and slowly brings back life into our society that has been so broken by violence and hate. When I first arrived at Regis in 2016, I had the worries of so many college students during their first weeks of classes. I also worried about my safety, my ability to explore my identities, and my ability to create meaningful relationships. I looked around and saw very few opportunities to do any of this. It felt like I didn't belong, like I should have gone to a different school. It was like I knew that I could never belong to the community that I had chosen. Over time, I began to meet professors that taught about queerness in the classroom. I went to IgnatianQ and sat in a room full of people who were all asking similar questions to me. And then I started to use my own voice to advocate for changes. I began to ask questions of high-level administrators. The answers were not always good. Sometimes they hurt. Sometimes they made me go back into my room and call my mom, begging her to let me come back home. She did not let me give up. She believed in me. So I waited a bit, and then every once in a while I saw that those conversations I was having with administration were paying off. When our president came to our Queer Student Alliance's drag show, when our provost created a university-funded task force for exploring how we treat queer students, or when both our president and our provost stood up to the archdiocese and told them that they would stand with their queer students, period.
For me, this discernment about my relationship with God came at a very young age. I had many questions about who this God person was, but my biggest question was, if God loved me, why would he make me gay in a society that was constantly sending me a message that it was a sin, that the way that I was born was a sin? But through the whole love I received from my mother after coming out for the second time, a woman of strong Catholic background growing up in Mexico, the love I felt at Regis University, and hope I've gotten through the Jesuit values, I've been able to restore my faith. And I believe justice is seeing each other in the wholeness and loving and advocating for each other's wholeness.
Why would it be radical just to see someone as full and worthy of love? We think that it is because we live in a world that has taught us to be small and to not demand to be seen and to be loved. Our hope is that by sharing our message, by being vulnerable and honest with you, that you can begin the process of seeing and loving not just queer people, but all of us who are marginalized into wholeness. Thank you.
Thank you.